Oh, she was on.
I just started recording, okay? So don't forget. So, Vita, you're really going to summarize for us? Nice. That's
Nita, go
great.
on to your WhatsApp quickly.
You know what? It's a very nice way now. This is cheat sheet for us.
That's right.
Okay. Stella.
Okay. Shall we get started?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please mute me.
Okay. But Didi, I'm going to ask you questions then.
No, don't ask me anything because I'm the dullest of all.
No. This time,
Most
this session
learned.
is
I feel now
very back and
spiritually
forth.
most learned out of after Kiki, of course, after Nitu and Kiki.
No. Actually, even anyway, Didi, you are very learned.
Chalo,
I
theek
also
hai.
agree.
Learned is sahi, but just mute me.
Okay, I muted you.
Mute me too.
No, Rupa, I can't mute you.
Why?
No,
We
you have to
neither
be
see
there.
your shakal. Now we won't hear your voice either.
Okay, so Rupa, what I'm going to do today,
Huh.
is I'm going to go through whatever we've done so far in Karam Yoga, the way we've started and how Gita has been progressing on it. And then I want all of us to actually see what's real for us. Like, is it what makes sense? Not just because Gita said it, but does it make sense for us in our life? Are we at the right place, at the right stage? So I'm just going to get started and then this is going to be interactive, okay?
Not me.
No, you absolutely. You always been given never have I picked you up like this. So at this time, I'm
ऐसे
going to
सारे
pick you.
सारे बड़े डरपोक I'm seeing.
Billu will speak up on my behalf. She'll answer all the questions.
बिल्लू अच्छा चलो ठीक है हाँ चलो.
Yeah.
Okay, so what have we learned? So in Karam Yoga, right? We said Karam Yoga in the Gita. So let's think about it in stages. So let's say stage one of Karam Yoga. And stage one is doing the right thing, being ethical, doing your duty. Actually, Bhagwan Krishna has given a bunch of values. They're in chapter 16 and 17 and 13. And he says they are the common sense values, but he just gave some illustrations. So he said, for example, a person who's ethical, you should be ahimsa honi chahiye, shouldn't be harming others. You should have compassion, daya. You should have some control over yourself, little bit of self-control, not just kind of let yourself go all the time. Control on your senses. You should have some patience. You should have straightforwardness. You shouldn't be talking ill of people. You should be helping people rather than talking ill of them. So all these things, you should be doing your duties. So there are a bunch of these very common sense things which we all can relate to. We've been taught these things. And these are the right things to do, dharmic things to do. You should be dharmic. Don't cheat. Things like that. So that is sort of, I would say, stage one. And as far as these things are concerned, do you guys have um any concerns with this? Do you feel this is something that you agree with? That these are things we should be? Not a trick
Yeah.
question. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rupa?
Yeah, I answered the question of the day. So that's it. My turn is over.
Okay, so we should these are like and do you understand that this is also not easy? It's not so easy to be like this. And if you look at the world around you, most of them are not at stage one. Most people are, just they'll do anything to get to make a fast buck or, to get a little more naam dham. One of the
No,
things
but
that
Nitu, we are saying that we agree with this, but not that we are there. You're
yeah,
right in saying, but
both
yeah,
we agree with
we
this
should.
and
That
we are
makes
getting there.
sense. But
We are
yeah,
getting there. It's in
right.
our, if you're going to learn Gita, this will be one of your objectives that you want to be like that. You
Yeah.
don't want to be like one thing he said was he keeps saying it again and again. Amanitvam. Like, don't be the kind of person who's always demanding respect from others. Don't try to be pretentious. Don't show off. Things like that. So we all have those qualities. I mean, those bad qualities or whatever you want to call them. We have them, but we realize that they are not necessarily
Not
good,
good.
right? and we are okay. If someone tells us those things come in the way of your happiness, you'll be happier if you could control these things. We can sort of understand, right?
Hmm.
No, Billu?
Bilkul, yeah. Mhm.
So, and like control your ego a little bit, for example. That's another thing he says. Don't be totally egoistic. Don't be a bully. So these are basic qualities. And it's also true, I think, I don't know what you think, but if you look at people around you, there are not many who are uh, focused on improving these qualities. So most people, I would say, are on stage zero. They're like, they're just, they're living their life in this world, trying to be successful, trying to grab whatever they can grab, trying to live whichever way you can live. They're not necessarily thinking of becoming better human beings in this respect. So what I'm trying to say is stage one is not to be taken for granted. And for us also, I think Gita also reminds us that stage one you have to address. You can't say, forget stage one, let me go to four directly. That's not going to work. Okay, so
And
that
this is
is
very basic, but also stage zero. We are at stage zero because we think everyone is trying to be happy. So people who are at stage zero are also trying to be happy because they do think that this respect from other people, having money, all that is going to make us happy.
right. Exactly.
And
That's
it,
correct.
yeah, so
Everybody, that is common to everybody. We are all trying to be happy, but
right.
stage one is meaning that you're a little bit more enlightened. You learned a few things from life. You learned that it's that these ethics and these virtues, and from your parents and others around you, you learned that these things actually help you in your life and will help you lead a happier life.
And also stage zero to stage one is a big leap, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big leap. It's a
Yeah.
leap in the sense that is why people, don't spend most of their life thinking about this, right? So, and not everybody does that. So that is what I would say is stage one. And Bhagwan Krishna helps us with this because he actually gives us some guidance in terms of what is it that good looks like in, let's say, in stage one. It's a little further down the line in the Gita, but it's there.
Mhm.
So this much, I think there's no sort of contradiction in the mind, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No confusion or
No
no
confusion,
lack of clarity.
no issues. But then this is also, by the way, what Arjun's state was in chapter one.
Stage zero?
Arjun was a very ethical guy,
Mhm.
and he was doing the right thing. Always did the right thing with the expectation that I'll do the right thing, I'll get right thing in back in return. I'll be dharmic, I'll be kind to people, all of that. Kind of the opposite of Duryodhan.
So he was stage one then?
He was, I would say he was stage one. I mean, Krishna Bhagwan hasn't said it in so many words, but my
Yeah,
my
I mean,
estimate would be he was stage one when he came to Krishna Bhagwan in the Gita. And why he came was because although he was doing the right thing and followed the law of karma, followed the law of dharma, still things didn't happen to him. Like still he suffered. The person that he thought, two people that he thought were very, very important to him, who he valued a lot, left him and joined Duryodhan. And basically, it's like it can, in a way, it can knock the floor from under your feet because you know that you're right. You know this is the right thing to do. The right and the wrong is very clear. Evil and good is very clear. You want to fight for the good, and people that you value and respect have left you and joined the bad. Now, he didn't at that time have the understanding as to why they did, what was in their mind, how did they think about it, why did they do it, all those things. He just saw there's a black, there's a white, there's a good, there's an evil. He's in the side of the good. And, people that he really respected are not there. And now he'll have to fight them because they chose the other side. And he couldn't deal with the situation. Just by doing good things and avoiding bad things and all doesn't mean that your life is not going to throw a curved ball at you, right? You're going to face the situation. So that's why he got completely lost. He didn't know what to do. This is out of his depth, जिसे कहते हैं. So he approached Krishna Bhagwan. He said, "You tell me." So now this is a person who is stage one, yeah, mature stage one and has realized that stage one doesn't cut it. Right? There is, you know, there are problems even I'm not happy. So he goes to Krishna Bhagwan, and Krishna Bhagwan now is telling him, okay, let's move you from stage one to stage two. Okay, what is stage two? Stage two, he said, first thing you have to understand is that as a very ethical, good person, with this is right, this is wrong, all of this, still what you are looking for is something good to happen to you, good experiences. Because you said, if I do the right things will happen back to me, good things will happen. If I do the bad things will happen to me. So you are still looking for punya, you are looking for
Result.
results, good results. And he said, why were you looking for good results? Because you thought those good results will make you happy. That will give you santushti. But he said, these good results, like इसे याद है आपको बताया था उसमें एक श्लोक था. He said the things which are temporary will always be temporary. The things which are permanent will always be permanent. These results are temporary. Let's say if something good also happens to you, it's not going to be good forever. Something bad happens to you, it's not going to be bad forever. If you're trying to look for your santushti in these temporary things, you're looking at the wrong place. So the first thing he told him was that your happiness is in you. You have to look within for your happiness, for your santushti, not outside. Which is a big shift from the way that Arjun had been brought up so far and the way that we've been brought up. It's a big shift. This is the first thing when you go to, because from this follows, okay, if I'm not looking for happiness from my results, then I'm not really interested in the material results. I'm more interested in making my heart better, my mind purer, my mind better, because then I can tap the santushti which is within me.
Nitu, I have a question.
Yes.
In the whole of Mahabharata, after listening to Krishna's lecture, Arjun listened to Krishna's lecture. Did he ever achieve that contentment? He saw his sons dying, he saw his brothers dying, he saw his teachers dying. What gave him contentment? What, in the end, he dies himself. So what was the end result? Did anything give him inner peace?
I don't know the answer to that question because I don't know
Because
those
that
details
is
of
the
Mahabharata, but I can tell you this,
yeah.
that Arjun didn't, by listening to the Gita, Arjun didn't get converted right there and then. He didn't move from stage one to stage two or stage three and stage four.
He did fight, right?
He
Which was
did not, because later on in the Mahabharata, Krishna Bhagwan had to repeat the Gita to him. So it is in a condensed version, he had to repeat it all over again. Because, and that is also instructive because just by listening to it once or, and all that, these changes don't happen like that. These changes take lifetimes to happen. So it's a process.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking that disappointments after disappointments, it affects you. Whatever you may say, it affects you, right? And if there are good things happening to you, that also makes a difference to you.
Right,
How
exactly.
to really get converted? It's very difficult.
Right. So actually, that was my question to you. That
Yeah.
now that we understand what stage two is stage one, of course, being ethical and everything, but knowing that perhaps what you were seeking from the contentment that you were seeking from the things you were seeking it from is probably not right. Probably my contentment is within me. In other words, there can be a lot of people who are given the same circumstance. Two people given the same circumstance will not be equally happy. One may be happier than the other. What's the difference? Why is it that this difference comes? If it was only the external things that make you happy, then both rich people would be very happy, both poor people would be very unhappy. But that is not the case, as you can see in your life. So stage two just means, okay, understanding that there is more to it than just external happiness. My internal situation, environment, and what I'm seeking from where is very important. And and therefore I'm open to listen to what Krishna Bhagwan is saying and say, okay, maybe it is true that my contentment might be within me, which means I have to do things to tap into that, which is I have to get away from these huge desires that I have, which are pushing me into the outside world. So, so my question to you guys is, are you comfortable with this premise that your contentment is actually within you? Or is this too much of a leap for us right now? And we are listening because Bhagavan Krishna has said, but we are not really bought into this. And I
Yeah.
wanted Rupa
Yeah.
to also contribute to this answer. That is why I didn't want to mute her.
Hmm.
Rupa, what do you think?
Nitu, I just learned from your lessons that, these outwardly um, results and desires is not what is going to make you happy. And that's a very good lesson to learn.
But
So,
do you buy it?
yeah, because the lesser the desires, the more content you feel, then you're not disappointed. Oh, mainu ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ, ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ, ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ. So, not to have way too many desires, wanting this, wanting that, I think is that really gives you peace of mind because then you're not distressed, you're not disappointed. I think that's a very good philosophy. To me, it really makes a difference.
Okay, what about the others? Billu, Meeta, Tony Bhaiya, Kiki. What do you guys feel?
Yeah,
Is this something that you can truly, be honest, because there's no point.
I truly
Yes.
believe that it's in your head. It's how you process it makes the difference, not what's happening around you. It's just you.
Yeah, but
It's
I think it is the concept is clear,
Yeah,
but
not
to
easy.
practice it is, I think, difficult.
Difficult. Yeah,
Yeah.
you train yourself over and over and over. Yeah, you have to get better at it.
But that is, I also feel that, Nitu, what you were asking and what we are saying can also be, you don't have to go to Gita, you can have therapy for that. You say, okay, you have a healthy psyche, you process things well, something is happening, and there are so many other things besides the Gita that say if you have a healthy psyche, you will be happier. But what we are saying here is something different, right?
In which way? It
To
is true.
say,
What you're saying is right. It is different. But I just want to know how you think it's different. It's different because we are not, and it doesn't matter actually. It doesn't matter what the Gita is saying or whoever is saying. The point is that it's not that, it's not so much that the world around us, people process differently. That is true too. But that if you tap into yourself, you're going to get a lot of contentment. There's a treasure there. It's not just I'm trying to avoid disappointment through desires. That you are actually whole. That there's a lot of contentment there. And if let's say, if for example, you focus there instead of focusing on external things, it's a net positive. It's not like you're going to just get it's not a negation of negatives.
yeah.
Yeah, I also find that it opens your mind a little bit better. You feel freer and it opens your mind a little bit better. And what I mean by that is that if you think about how, if somebody's saying something, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I may just blow it off or say, this person doesn't get it. Now I have a tendency to sort of say, maybe their circumstances different, and that's why
Right.
they're saying whatever they're saying. And it sort of gives you freedom. It doesn't close up your mind.
Right.
I think that's an added benefit of that.
Meeta and Billu, what about you guys?
I also agree with Meeta. The concept is very nice, and I wish I could be there, but I think I am yet far away.
Yeah.
I really would like to be there, but I think it's going to take a lot of effort and of doing all those things and just not bothering about the outside world and just trying to seek. I would really like it, but I think I'm not there at all yet.
What do you think is needed to be done to get there?
I don't know. I have maybe yet I'm still too much into the world to to say ki, okay, forget about the outside things, and I'm just going to concentrate on myself and make myself happy, because happiness lies within me. I have to see inside. I think that I am yet too much into the world. You have to distance yourself away from all the things, whether it's relatives or it is your work or it is your you know friends or it is your other commitments, to be able to get there. And I think I'm not there yet. I'd love to be, but I think I'm yet far away.
Meeta, you agree?
Yeah, I think, like, for myself, I feel that I do not let the outside world bother me too much, but my immediate family, my relatives, I cannot dissociate myself from them.
Right.
I mean, it's whatever you may say. I think how we interact with each other, it affects me.
Right. Yeah.
And to say that nothing bothers me, my children's problems don't bother me, my family's problems don't bother, no, I don't think I'm there yet.
That's good. Good to be totally clear and objective about our own situation and say, this is where I am. And the beauty is that Gita says a lot of things for all of us, even for people who are just starting out or who are, totally immersed in the world. It gives you a lot of guidance there too. So I appreciate that. I mean, I'm in the same position, I think. Iki, you too? Or you feel differently?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think that we have to have, even for us to grow in this direction, we have to have, if we didn't have a roof over our heads or food to eat, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. So that's a
Yeah.
sliding scale. We need to have some sort of
Comfort zone to
supportive
be able to.
environment to even learn, to even,
Mm.
yeah.
So that is, let's say, stage two, right? Which is there in chapter two now. So what is it? He has started introducing Arjun to the fact that you know don't expect that. This is what is called vairagya, by the way, dispassion. It means if you expect from the world shelter, that is totally fine. If you expect from the world food to eat, absolutely fine. You expect comfort, a way to fly from America to India and vice versa, totally fine. Expect pleasures, totally fine. But that's it. If you expect uh, continuous contentment or bliss or whatever by just from these things, that's where the problem is. Because the things that you should expect from yourself, you are now directing outside simply because you never thought about it. You never understood that you have something to give you. You know, you always thought that you have to get the things from the environment around you. So that's the teaching that he started with. You know, in fact, he started way more because he said there is no reason for sorrow, which is a little too much for us. We have many reasons for sorrow, but he said ultimately that is the vision. So and then he said, okay, the technique to doing it is say that the actions are mine. The ego is there, so actions are mine. I do the actions, but understand and accept that the results are not in your control. That the results are also determined by the laws of this universe, which we call Ishwar. And Ishwar is the Karam Phal Data. जो कर्म का फल होता है, ईश्वर is that. So this is, let's say, the first step into Karam Yoga, proper full-fledged Karam Yoga. The stage one was also Karam Yoga, but that was kind of, transition. Okay. We didn't, in stage one, our relationship with Ishwar was like, okay, Bhagwan, please, I know you're all powerful. Please help me achieve success. Keep me away from problems. Keep problems away from my children and from my parents. That's our relationship with Ishwar, like a parent-child relationship. And in the stage two, the relationship is a little bit different. It's saying, okay, Ishwar, I will accept whatever you give me. You are the boss. You know better. Help me accept whatever you give me as prasad. So the relationship with Ishwar is also a little different. Then comes chapter three. And in chapter 3, he goes a little further. He says now this relationship with Ishwar, he has taken that as a center point. And he's saying, no, what's Ishwar? Ishwar is uh, not just one Ishwar somewhere, but every human being, every person, everything in the world is Ishwar. So you don't have to say, I'm interacting with Mita or with Rupa, and okay, I'm doing this, and Ishwar is somewhere else, and I'm having my expectations from Ishwar that okay, Ishwar, I'm doing something good for Rupa. Please give me Antakarna Shuddhi. He's saying no, Rupa is Ishwar, and she's as much Ishwar as anybody else. Ishwar is everywhere. So talk to Rupa as if you are interacting with Ishwar. Now that's a significant jump, right? From even stage 2. Because look at the consequences of this. Because when Arjun started with stage 1 or stage 0, wherever he was, stage 1, he had a very clear distinction between right and wrong. He knew this is good and this is evil. Now, in stage 3, Bhagavan Krishna is saying, no, this distinction is only on the surface. Because good or evil, they're basically Ishwar. So he expands on this in a very big way. We'll go through the verses later. But he says that there is an order in this universe. If something bad has shown up in the universe, there's an order, there's a reason. It has a purpose. You don't see that purpose. You don't know what that purpose is, but there is an order. So don't, appreciate the order, appreciate the Ishwar in everything, appreciate the reason why these things are happening the way they are happening. Your job is to do your work. So he actually calls it dharma. He defines dharma as the order in the universe, as this, the wheel. He calls it the chakra, universe ka chakra jo chal raha hai. And he says that is dharma. You align yourself to the dharma, and you have your swadharma. So, for example, to Arjun, he's saying you don't have to get into all these huge debates on is Duryodhan good or bad and this and that. Why? What was the cause for this? What happened before? Why was Duryodhan feeling that he didn't get a fair deal? Whatever. He says you have a job as a Kshatriya. You see injustice happening right now. Your job as a Kshatriya is to tackle that injustice. Because that is why you are placed in this universe. This is your job. So overall, the whole thing works together if you do your job and everybody else does their job. So this is again a very different concept of Karma Yoga. But he's highlighting this to say this is what Karma Yoga actually means. It means understanding that there is an order and doing your role in that order without getting caught up in the good and the bad too much, without being hateful. I don't like this person is obviously wrong, this is these kinds of things. This is So that means what? You're seeing Ishwar in everything, you're seeing the order in everything, good and bad. Does this resonate at all with you?
Yes.
Okay, that's a very emphatic and immediate yes.
Yes, yes.
Billu and Mita and sorry, Kiki, you also said yes. What about Madhu Didi ko main on kar deta hu. Let me see, the noise is coming actually. I can't unmute her. I can only mute her. Okay. Anyway, Rupa Bhabhi, what do you think?
Yeah, whatever you say is right.
ये भक्ति है रूपा भाभी, आपकी बहुत भगत हो आप.
Nee, you know everything.
अच्छा, okay.
Mm.
Neeta, do you agree, or does it not make sense? How can evil be God?
It's to make the wheel go round.
To make
Like
the
a chakra
wheel
go
go
round.
round. To make the wheel go round. Exactly. That's right. Didi, you can unmute.
I know I can.
Okay.
What was the question again?
The question was that in chapter 3, and when defining and talking about Karam Yoga, Krishna Bhagavan is saying Karam Yoga means a proper appreciation of Ishwar. That means understanding that this universe is working through the laws and order of Ishwar. So this good and bad is a very superficial thing. Everywhere there is Ishwar. So Duryodhan also is a form of Ishwar. Bhisham is also a form of Ishwar. And everything else is also a form of Ishwar. So you do your job, you do your swadharma, which is what you're supposed to do to help this order along. That is the dharmic thing. Your dharma is to fight injustice, you fight injustice. But don't get caught up in this like huge emotion of this is wrong and this is right and this all of that. I mean, I guess you have to do it. You can't live in the world without it. But appreciate Ishwar in everything. See, when you're fighting the Duryodhan too, understand that he is Ishwar. You are doing your job. You're going to kill him. But uh, appreciate your role and appreciate Ishwar. So this is in
So
my
the
opinion,
stretch
a
is
difficult concept to.
so the stretch, Nitu, is that Donald Trump is Ishwar.
He is also Ishwar. Yeah.
Evil is easy.
Even
Very,
Hitler.
very, very difficult concept.
Yeah. That's why I was asking you. So it's difficult.
Yeah, but then, I mean, this is, I'm not sure how to explain it, but for me, it's a very difficult concept to say that evil people, as we call them evil, is Ishwar. But
Right.
what I've understood is that this is what this good and bad is the world. Is
I
together
think the way to think
makes
about it is,
Maya.
Didi, if they are not Ishwar, then what are they? Do you think Ishwar doesn't have the reach? Do you think if Ishwar didn't want them to be what they are, he doesn't have the power to make them disappear? He doesn't have the power to kill them or convert them? He has all the power.
Yeah, but I think that they have a reason to come to the world, either to make us understand something, maybe to make us understand what is good actually. So if we know what is evil or what is wicked, then maybe we'll learn what is good. And maybe they have a role to play in our own growth, yeah, and understanding. Because we are very quick, I mean, we are very quick to make judgments about people. Oh, so and so is this, and so is that. But perhaps we don't look at how quickly we judge people, and maybe they are there to teach us a lesson, to make us grow, to make us go beyond that. I don't know. This is what I'm thinking.
But that is then placed by Ishwar, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why
Ishwar
that's
wants
the
you to grow, so he's taken this form and come here too.
right, right.
And you can't hate
But
them if
then,
they're there to make you grow. You can't hate them. You can't say with full consciousness that they are, because if you hate
Yeah,
them, they're there to harm me. You're not
yeah, I
there to
know.
help you.
You can say that they're made, I mean, I can say that, right?
Yeah.
That they are here maybe to make me understand. Maybe that person did something wrong to me, but maybe it made me understand I'm so stupid and so gullible. This is not the way. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's difficult to call them Ishwar, you know, that
Not
they're a form
necessarily call them Ishwar, but to understand that they are there.
for a reason.
Well, they're there per the laws. There are laws
Yeah,
in the world,
yeah,
right? The same laws which created you have also created them. The laws of the world and the laws of the universe don't apply separately to you and to them. It's the
true,
same thing. They also have the
true.
same molecules. They also have the same
Right,
everything.
right,
Their brain also is wired the same way.
right,
Everything is the same. It's coming from the same source.
right.
And actually, a deeper concept here is that anything that you hate, not you, anything that
Yeah.
I hate is my shadow self. I hate it because I'm afraid of it in me. Otherwise, this strong hate would never come.
Mm.
This polarization in the country also is because of that.
Mm.
We are, it comes out of fear, the hatred. It doesn't, a person who's not afraid will not hate. But that
Mm.
that is, of course, a deeper psychological concept. But Gita is saying the same thing in a different way, more
Hmm.
fundamental way.
And maybe there's something for them to pay off some karmas of theirs or whatever too, or it's the whatever. If it's a karma play, then they are there for that as well, right? But for me to think of them as part of
gods or
Ishwar is
form.
hard. Again, like I mean, I feel like who am I to judge? But It just comes naturally. I don't know why.
It's very difficult to accept. You do sympathize with them, but then you don't consider them as, okay, as you said, maybe they're just reaping these things of their own karma. That is why they're there. Otherwise, if we would to say that they were there to teach us and to tell us, ki, okay, if they are bad is there, so we can, realize what's good and appreciate it, then why should that person, poor fellow, be made bad and you be made good? Why could it not be opposite? Why was
Because
God partial in that?
maybe he's paying off his karma in that way.
So that is his karma, but that enough. And then would you say that's a part of Ishwar? That's very
Well,
difficult to.
I mean, I don't know. Define Ishwar. Ishwar is defined in so many different ways.
Ishwar we defined last time as the personification
Order
of laws and
of
order
the.
of this universe. Yeah,
Hmm.
right. That is Ishwar. Anyway, so the point is, and here, by the way, I also wanted to tell you that in this chapter, he says a lot of things about Karam Yoga. So he said it's the same as renunciation, as Tyag. Right, Meeta, you remember you only pointed that out. Karam Yoga and Tyag is the same. Then he said Karam Yoga is Yagna, which is basically saying consider any Karam as Yagna. That means you're giving it to God. So, see others as God. Then he said um, Karam Yoga and Ishwar he talked about. Then he said Karam Yoga is the same as Bhakti. Actually, if you think about Bhakti also evolves the same way because Bhakti jo hai, people they start with Bhakti by singing Bhagat songs and so on and asking God for things. That's kind of a very early stage of Bhakti. Ke Bhagwan, you are everything, help me. But as you grow in Bhakti, it changes to Bhagwan, you know best. I will take whatever you say as prasad. I'm not going to fight with you. You know best. That is Karam Yoga. And then he says, Bhagwan, you are everywhere. So everything, a proper Bhagat, a really mature Bhagat, will see the world as Bhagwan, which is exactly what Karam Yoga is also saying. See the world as Bhagwan. It's the same thing, but just that the approach was a little different. The Bhagat doesn't think of himself as primarily some worker or karmic person, karma wala. He thinks of himself as an emotional person. Whereas the person who starts from the standpoint of karma, he thinks of himself as a doer, right? But you end up in the same place.
So
So,
in this, sorry.
no, go ahead.
In this model, in the stage three, whatever, when you say when you interact with the world, or you were saying you interact with Rupa, you say Rupa is God, is
Right.
Ishwar. But in that model, am I seeing myself as Ishwar too, or am I seeing myself as, you know,
Well, so that is, I would say that would take us to stage four,
okay.
okay, which is the ultimate thing, which is actually in chapter 4 of the Gita. What in Gita is called as Gyan Karam Sannyas.
Hmm.
So Karam Yog got changed to Karam Sannyas. So Karam Sannyas means I give up karmas too. Not only the fruits of the action, but I even say, even the actions themselves. I am not the one doing them. Ishwar is doing them. That is really abstract, okay? So it's ways to come. But it's called Gyan Karam Sannyas. That means through Gyan, achieving Karam Sannyas. Saying sannyas, by doing actions, you're still a sannyasi. Because you recognize that I am not the one who's doing the actions, really speaking. Everything that I'm thinking, I'm assigning myself to, is happening because of the grace of God. And then what does it leave you? What are you? You are that consciousness, that Atma, which inhabits everything. And that is the same as God. So that's called Gyan. So Karam Yoga, over progression, bit by bit by bit, leads to this Gyan. But it's a progressive thing, otherwise this Gyan is way, way far out for anybody. I mean, even I am talking to you about it. I'm like having a hard time trying to explain to you convincingly. Because this
It
is
should have been easier. I mean, this world order should be simplified, not made so abstract that it is so difficult to
which
understand.
world order?
All this abstract things.
No, but let me tell you, the stages 1, 2, 3, 4 is my attempt at simplifying. So this could be all, you can disregard it altogether. Okay. I thought I was simplifying it. It turns
Not
out,
simplifying.
it turns out I'm making it more complex.
No, no,
Simplifying.
I really like how you've done this, Nitu.
No,
In
no, but
fact,
that's
I can
because you
tell
have a
you.
particular way in which your mind works.
Anyway, yeah.
Hmm. People
It is
don't always like structure.
also abstract. You are simplifying it. But why is it so abstract?
What is abstract, Vita?
I mean, this whole consciousness and everything, it's too
It's
complicated.
not, actually, it is not at all. So suppose I tell you that you, what you really are, is just you.
Pure
Just
energy,
just
consciousness.
you. You're not, meaning, like, what are you when you go to sleep? When you're in deep sleep, what are you?
I don't know.
But you're there in deep sleep.
I'm just consciousness.
Yes, your consciousness. You're there. It's not that you're not, your arms are gone, your legs are gone, eyes are gone, you can't see anything, you can't feel anything, you can't do anything, but you're there. And you're quite happy too, by the
Mhm.
way. We all love to go to deep sleep. If we don't get sleep, we get pretty, we're not happy. We
Mhm.
want our sleep.
Yeah,
Actually, that's one of the, after Hawa, air, this is the most important thing we want, a good sleep,
that's true.
right?
Mhm.
So, and what do we get in the sleep? Do we get a lot of wealth in sleep? No. We don't get any, do you get a lot of children in sleep? No. You get
Mhm.
nothing in sleep, just you. You don't even get your body, but that's you. So that's the simple as can be, but we don't accept it. We don't buy in. So that is why Vedanta has to do all these, take you down this rabbit holes bit by bit by bit, so
Yeah,
that your brain can rewire a little bit.
that's an excellent example. I mean, I can relate to it.
Good,
So
good. But that is the example. That is what it is actually.
yeah,
Whatever, if you go to deep sleep, what you can think about it, you're nothing. Nothing that you can think of is there.
but you're
But
the
you're
happiest
there
at that
and
time.
you're happy.
As you
If
said.
suppose somebody told you that when you die, you're going into this giant deep sleep, right?
Mhm.
I wouldn't be unhappy thinking about it. You know? Maybe when you go to sleep, do you even think, am I going to get up or not get up? You don't even think about it. You just go to sleep happily.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Yeah, maybe now we will.
In fact, actually, this is one of the methodologies of thinking about yourself is your three states that you go through, which is waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. And actually, even in deep sleep, there's something called sukshma ahankar, very very subtle. That is why you wake up from a deep sleep. There's some very very subtle perception going on. That's why
Mhm.
if somebody makes a lot of noise, you'll wake up, right? Because there is something which is perceiving, but 99% is off. That 1% remains. But what
Yeah.
you really are is not even that 1%. When you die, or I die, or anybody dies, even that is gone. Then we are truly just us, just me. And what we have to be comfortable with is to know that that me is not missing anything, is not lacking anything. It's not saying, oh, my wife is not here, my children are not here, my wealth is gone, my property is gone. It's not. It is very happy and whole. We cannot even imagine it because we are so used to thinking like this. But Vedanta is telling you exactly this. It's saying that when everything goes away, you're still there and you are completely happy, happier than you are right now. Okay, that is very simple, Nita. Just try to imagine that.
Yeah.
This is actually what Vedanta is saying.
Mhm.
And it is, I believe it. That, because, and you can see when you start thinking about this in your examples around life, you will see it. I mean, I can see in my life that a lot of the things which I thought was so important to me, fear of missing out,
Mhm.
I don't care anymore. And I'm not any less happier. If anything, I'm more happy. So if somebody tells me that your happiness comes from within, I have some data points to 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 refer to and say, yeah, I can believe it because now I have these small data points. It's not any longer a huge stretch the way it was maybe 10 years ago when I didn't have these data points. All I had was data points of pleasures I got when I went here and when I did that, and all of those things. When I got promoted, or when these were the data points that I had for you know happiness, or when I had the children, something like that. And
External validations to uh, beef up your ego.
yeah, exactly. Beef up your ego because we think that ego is happiness.
Yeah.
We think that a happy person is the one, bigger the ego, the bigger the happiness. So, and we have, we will not believe it till we start doing a little bit of Karam Yoga, till we start actually, now that I've told you all this, now, you have no choice. You will observe it in your life. You will start thinking differently
Mhm.
because this is the power of truth. When
Mhm.
truth is said, you can't dismiss it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
those were the four.
said that you don't have the FOMO. What did you have FOMO about, and what are the data points? The data points are what you have learned and read in
No,
Gita.
no, in my life, in my own life, I said, okay, let me say, my happiness does come from within. All these things that I'm craving for, maybe they are not important. Let me see, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just gradually you dip your toe in, and you feel a little bit more. I mean, I'm not trying to pretend that I'm some sadhu or something. I'm not by any
Mm-hmm.
means. Okay, I'm pretty much stage zero going to stage one. But I'm just saying, when it comes to this conviction of uh, that happiness comes from within, I've thought about it, and I've sort of experienced in little ways the truth of it.
Mm-hmm. Got
I
it.
think also that attachment and love are two different things. A lot of things that we think is love is actually attachment, and a lot of things I thought was love was actually attachment. You know, and attachment is another form of seeking satisfaction from outside, from your loved ones. Love is knowing that you're okay. You know, you can do something for a person without expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's my experience.
Yeah.
But which is why I am continuing with this, right? So, what was the agenda for today? So, I wanted to take you through these four. Then the one reason I was asking you is because I'm also taking these other classes now, and one group that I'm talking to is very new, and they are. I mean, I would say stage one is probably a good objective for them. So I don't know how to teach it. I don't know when I was like when I was teaching or explaining Gita to you guys, what worked and what didn't work. What did I like? I don't know whether if I'd start talking to them about Atma and Satyam Mithya and all that, it's going to like go completely over, or I don't know. I just thought in case you have any.
No, I think your initial few lectures were very good. You described Dehi, Deha, you gave examples of, you know,
Jiva,
and
Karam Yog.
was Ishwar, and you explained that Ishwar is just this cosmic energy and all that. I think those lectures, the initial lectures were very, very good starting point. I mean, I think we all
Okay.
really enjoyed them.
Examples like electricity and
Yeah.
Atma and those kind of things sort of, they connect the dots.
Yeah, they kind of do the foundation, I
Now,
think.
it's needless to say, we are far from it, but at least beginning to understand the relationships is there.
No. I mean, I think you guys are very different from what you were 6, 7 months ago in terms of your questions and everything. But that may be because I mean, I'm not meaning it just, I think you're exceptionally smart people. That's the other thing compared to just the average Joe. Anyway, so I don't have anything else much to say. I mean, if you want, we can go through.
One
Sorry.
other thing I would say is
Yeah.
that I'm very, very happy to see that we are all very open about individual stuff, which is very healthy in wanting to improve. We may be hiding still some stuff,
Right.
but a lot of our stuff comes out, which is awesome.
Correct.
But Tony, that's because of the container we have. It's because we are among people we love and trust.
Yeah.
And if there were other people added to this container, we would not be so open, I don't think.
Think about it, and yeah, even I feel that way.
Is it just love or is it attachment?
Both. I was just thinking that earlier. I was just thinking when the two were saying how much I love you guys. Then I thought, yeah, no, it is love.
We are comfortable with people whom we know well.
Yeah, I think it seems to me that part of this Karam Yoga is really, it's like therapy in Karam Yoga. And to do this therapy in family and be very open with our challenges in family is so much easier among people that we trust,
Yeah.
And brings about more trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe one day Rupa will actually start showing us her face and talking.
Nitu, how many
We can
groups
always
are
hope,
you
है ना,
teaching?
Rupa?
Nitu, how many groups are you teaching?
3.
I'm going to take you guys to mummy so you can say hi. This is
Yeah.
sort of seems like the end of class. Honey, मैंने कहा आप भी hi कर दो सबसे. I'm going to take you to mummy's room. Go, mom.
Hey, my darlings.
Hi,
Masi.
How are you, Masi?
See you.
Thank you. Same
Ram
here.
Ram Masi.
Ram Ram, बच्चों बड़ा अच्छा लगा प्यार देख के. In fact, I was sitting here and I was hearing your voices. But I was really enjoying.
So, Parmasi, after the session, do you listen to the whole lecture?
I do listen.
You
Yeah.
do?
I'm
Acha.
waiting. कਦੋਂ खत्म होएगा and I will listen.
Acha. So, you have anything to add to it?
Yeah.
So much, Rupa.
Yeah, good one, Rupa.
Parmasi,
Yes,
dasso na aur dasso.
ले मेरे को कुछ नहीं हैगा. I have to add कि I'm glad कि I'm listening to that. कि
Yeah.
बन गया थोड़ा.
Nitu knows it so much and so does Kiki. My
मेरे ख्याल
God.
तुसी सब इको जाइएगे. You are on the same level.
Oh, no. No.
Thank you, बच्चों.
आप
Enjoy.
लास्ट टाइम तो कह रहे थे कि मधु दीदी को बहुत पता है.
You
He
are
said
right.
that.
एक गलत impression हो गया है सब
मैं
लोग.
I know.
बिल्कुल
This is not partiality.
क्योंकि
No,
मधु
it is all गलत impression.
नहीं मधु is with सुरेश ना उसका असर है.
That's right. All owing to Suresh.
Yeah, of course.
Because you were asking all these questions about Ved and you knew a lot of that stuff.
No, yeah, that's why maybe it just kind of gave the wrong impression that I know everything, which is such a falsehood, fake news.
Nee, Didi, that means you read a lot.
I do not read at all. Absolutely zero. Less
Tell
than
Rupa, we
you.
are still 5-7 years. We'll also reach.
I have a feeling
बिल्कुल नहीं दीदी और साडा फर्क है ना अच्छा हाँ you are right
मैंने लगता है कि
yeah
जितना questions कर दिए गए she is very very curious to know.
Mita is also no पर मैं सोचूं वो भी पहुंची हुई है yeah वो भी पहुंची हुई है
ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚਿਆ ਹਾਲੇ
नहीं
we are all at stage zero
हाँ नहीं
all
नहीं
at stage zero
Absolutely right.
wanting to be in stage 1 but not easy.
आसमान ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਤੰਗਾਂ ਉੱਡਦੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨਾ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਉੱਪਰ ਗਈ ਕੋਈ ਨੀਚੇ ਗਈ ਕੋਈ ਕੱਟ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਇਧਰ ਉਧਰ ਚਲਦੀ ਪਈ we are all like that.
But Masi, every bali gal hai na, कि at least we are wanting to be, we are aspiring to be there. I
Yeah.
think that is a
Good
good
enough for
progress.
us. Yeah.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ
Yeah.
ਪੱਕੀ ਗੱਲ
From knowing nothing to come to this stage, I think is also a big
ਕੁੰਤਲ
achievement.
ਦੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਏ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕੁੰਤਲ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਬੜੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਨੀਚੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਬੈਠੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਮਾਲਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਉਸਦੇ ਹੱਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਮੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਿ ਮਾਲਾ ਦੇਖੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਔਰ ਮਾਲਾ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਯੂਜ਼ਡ ਟੂ ਸਿਟ ਵਿਦ ਹਰ ਔਰ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮਾਲਾ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰੋ
Acha.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਲਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਕਰੋ ਤਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਲਰਨਡ ਸੋ ਮੈਨੀ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਫਰਮ ਸੋ ਮੈਨੀ ਪੀਪਲ ਨੀਤਾ
Mind.
They're lucky to be in this family.
You've
But
created.
Masi, why mala kisu ke why is not that a superstition?
I don't think so.
Why? What is the importance of like that?
किस
So you're trying to not show off?
ਛੁਪਾ ਕੇ ਕਰੋ
ਛੁਪਾ ਕੇ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਪਈ ਸਾਂ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਅਨੁਭੂਤੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ your own means your own experiences don't tell these things to anybody else except to your own guru because they say ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਵਕਤ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਕੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹੋ ਨਾ then you have a ego ਆਪਣਾ ਅਭਿਮਾਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਅਨਕੌਂਸ਼ੀਅਸਲੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਵਕਤ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਇਟ ਆਟੋਮੈਟਿਕਲੀ ਕਮਸ ਟੂ ਯੂ ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਚੱਲਣ ਦਾ ਰਸਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਧੀਰੇ ਧੀਰੇ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਦੈਟ ਇਜ਼ ਵਾਟ ਆਈ ਲਰਨ ਮਤਲਬ
What do you mean by apniya galla?
Your own.
Meaning your own achievements or
yeah the achievements means when you are going to some किसी एक लाइन ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਪਏ ਹੋ and every day you are going there so you definitely have some experiences ਸਰਲਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਬੜੀ ਪੁਰਾਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਉਸਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੁਰੂ ਹੈਗੇ ਸੀ ਮਾਨਮਤੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਮੀਨਸ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਹੈਗੇ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਅੱਧ ਵਾਰੀ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਔਰ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਉਸਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਭਗਵਾਨ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਪੂਜਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੇ ਉਸਦਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਚਰਣਾ ਉਹ ਚਲੀ ਗਈ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਉਂ-ਜਿਉਂ ਦੇਖਦੀ ਸਾਂ ਇੱਧਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹਰ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਭਗਵਾਨ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਮੂਰਤੀ ਦਿਖਦੀ ਸੀ
Oh, wow.
These are ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਅਰਵਿੰਦੋ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਵਾਮੀ ਅਰਵਿੰਦੋ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਵਕਤ ਮੈਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਪਿਆ ਸੀ ਹੀ ਵਾਸ ਜੇਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫॉर ਇੰਡੀਪੈਂਡੈਂਸ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਪਿਆ ਸੀ ਆਈ ਵਾਸ ਸਿਟਿੰਗ ਇਨ ਦਾ ਬੱਸ ਔਰ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਭਗਵਾਨ ਦੀ ਮੂਰਤੀ ਦਿਖਦੀ ਸੀ ਸੋ ਆਲ ਥੀਸ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਦੇ ਆਰ the experiences that doesn't mean ਕਿ ਉਹ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ ਇਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਅਰਵਿੰਦੋ ਤਾਂ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ ਵਾਕਈ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ these things come and go ਮੇਰਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ
but you said that don't tell them to anyone.
this is what they say ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਾਂ ਦੱਸੋਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ to some person ਐਸੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਇਟ ਕੈਨ ਹੈਲਪ them ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਪੋਜ਼ ਸਰਲਾ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਰਲਾ ਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਵਕਤ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਅਭਿਮਾਨ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਉਸਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਔਰ ਆਈ ਫੈਲਟ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਰਸਤੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਉਸਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਆਈ ਹੈਡ ਫੇਥ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਯੋਰ ਓਨ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਤਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਫਿਰ ਇਟਸ ਲਾਈਕ ਦੈਟ ਓਕੇ ਬੱਚੂ ਸੋ ਜਾਓ
अपनी तो नहीं जा
Thank
नहीं
you.
बिल्लू सोने लगी है बाकी तो सब
अभी तो बिल्लू वाइड अवेक है
हाँ
Is this like 1:30?
No.
What time
no
is it?
10
10:30.
Kiki, how are you liking your new place?
the house is very comfortable
Good.
I see the movement, Kiki.
what's that
I see a lot of movement. The house is very
because-
comfortable.
the house is comfortable that's
movement from you mean movement in the mind
Yes.
shall I switch off the recording
Yes.
yeah I do that yeah